Okay, we're on. At last. I don't know what happened there, Rich.
No.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thunderbirds are go.
Hello, Richard. Thank you for joining me.
Hello, Robert. I haven't had a notification yet of this.
Oh. Well,
No.
it's showing that we are actually live. 50. We've been live for 53 seconds now.
Yeah, I'll keep checking for the notification because I haven't got an address for where it is live on YouTube unless I go through your.
Well, I need to put a new link up.
Oi, there's
Oh,
Zoo there.
Scott's come in. Zoo Scott's just joined us. Hi, Zoo.
Right, so we're obviously going then, Rob.
It's obviously working, yeah. Anybody else watching, I can only apologise. I had it all set up ready with Richard to start bang on 5, and it just threw a wobbler at me. It said stream has been cancelled or whatever. So I don't know what happened there. I can only apologise. But anyway, we're up and running now, which is a good thing. Hey, lads. Good to see you both. Good to see you, Zoo. Weather's warm today. Where are you from, Zoo? Whereabouts, what area do you live in?
I think you'll find the clues in the name, Rob.
You what, Rich?
I think you'll find the clue is in the name.
Zoo Scott. Is it Scotty?
That's a guess. I don't know. The accent and the name pretty much give it away, really.
That's life, but not as we know it. He's a Scotty, isn't he?
Is he? Is
William, I think his name. William. That's life, but not as we know it.
He's not showing up. Has he made a comment?
No. I'm just talking off the top of. I'm just talking off the top of my head. He's not. He's not coming.
Talk from inside it, Rob. Yeah, right. What's on your mind then, Rob? How you doing, Sue?
Oh, you wouldn't want to know what's on my mind, mate.
A boy named Zoo.
Zoo. He's a zoo.
How do you do? You're gonna die someday. Yeah. So this is all.
Go on, Rich, sorry.
Well, it's all. I was just going to set the stage. Really, it's all a bit impromptu. It's just a few hours, wasn't it? So nothing really ready. It's just talking about. Over to you, Rob.
Yeah. Cashless society. It seems more and more, more places now are only accepting card payments. I mean, there's what was that pizza place? Not Pizza Hut. What's the other one?
Domino's.
Yeah, Domino's. There's a sign on the door. Card payments only.
Is there?
Yeah. Now I can understand some of the logic to it, like from a security point of view, but I don't think it's right. Go on.
What do you mean, a security point of view?
Well, things like the shop getting robbed or burgled or whatever, no cash left on the premises because it's all card payments, and you know.
It's minimal, Rob. It's minimal. The number of places that get robbed like that is quite minimal.
I
know. The whole world shouldn't have to change just because, you know, one in 100 McDonald's get ransacked a year or something like that.
Ransacked.
Really. And here's the thing: Domino's. If you look at Domino's pizza sign, it's a domino piece, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like the game of dominoes,
Yeah.
and it's got 3 dots on it. It's a 2 and a 1.
Yeah.
If you got a double-sided sign, like it's overhanging in the street, you got 3 on one side and 3 on the other side. Domino's are part of that. Domino's are part of the system, mate. They're one of the major suppliers of food, probably governed by the same entity that governs the opposition as well for them, like Papa John's or something like that. It's all they're all you don't get to supply the world with something unless it's absolutely fantastic, or unless you're allowed to do so, because this is the sort of food they want out to the world.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I use Domino's as an example. That was the first thing that came into my head. You know, there's a lot of other places out there doing it as well. And I'm not sticking up for it. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with. In fact, what would happen if I went somewhere and there was a sign saying card payments only? I'd walk out. I'd walk out the shop.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because there is no other way of paying, really, is there? You've got to stand by that principle that, all right, I won't use a mobile phone, but would you use a mobile phone if you needed to dial 999? Well, I guess I would, yeah. Would you use a debit card if the only way you could actually shop is by using your debit card? And I have recently started using eBay specifically because it's the only place I can get certain things that I can't buy down the high street.
Yeah. Well, you know, don't
hold
get me wrong.
Hold it. And there's specialist things. Yeah, well, finished. There's specialist things, like for example, water filtration systems, etc. You know, that's the only thing I use my DD for, really. Is that? But if the option is, like if I go down my local down there and I want to pay with cash, I'll go to the cash point. Sometimes they shut the cash point down at like 9:30 when they shut at 10 o'clock. I got no other option. If I want some backy, I've got to pay with card. So I'm not going to cut my head off to spite my body. You know, there is a time when you're going to think, well, okay, am I a hypocrite because I've used it?
No, not at all, Rich. I mean, I use my debit card a lot. There are times when, like you said, like when you need to buy things online, you've no choice.
Absolutely, yeah.
But the point I'm making, what I personally try and do, is if I know, say I was going to the local co-op, for example,
okay,
rather than go into the co-op and use my debit card, there's a cash point like 100 yards before I come to the co-op. So I'll go to the cash point, draw out the cash, and then go to the co-op and pay in cash. And I think if everybody did that, you know, if the majority of people did that, I mean, sometimes it can be laziness. Well, that's probably the wrong word. People do it because it's convenient for them.
Convenience and laziness, Rob. It's a combination. They played on the weaknesses of mankind, and laziness can be a trait, really, that is endemic in the human species at some point. Not for everybody. There are people that don't laze about, but there are some slovenly people that, you know, would not survive in the wild, really. They would make a big meal for a lot of people, rather than like somebody tries to eat me, I'd be like an hors d'oeuvre. Laziness. They played on laziness. They played it very clever, actually. It goes back to I think the 50s, was it, when American Express credit card came out?
Yeah, that was one of the first, wasn't it?
Yeah, and
Visa,
it made
Barclay card, well, I think, and American Express were what?
American Express was a very early one. And I don't even think we had debit cards then, did we?
No,
that was
no,
a
it
credit
was
card. You didn't even have debit cards then.
check guarantee card.
Eh?
It was a checkbook and check guarantee card back in the day.
Yeah.
You don't see those anymore now, do you? Checkbooks.
I got one here. It's just, ain't had any
No, I
pages.
mean,
Still all the pages. I use a cover for roach. It's about the best cardboard you can get for making roach. Checkbook covers.
as long as you're not using the Gideon Bible.
I won't use that, Rob. Flipping that, mate. I won't use that.
Oh, that's what they do in the nick, innit? When they need papers for roll-ups. The Gideon Bible comes in very useful, but no.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't
Not
do
that
that.
not that I've been in the nick and done that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying what I've heard.
Well, you can imagine that there's something that would happen, isn't it? So if we can imagine it could happen, there's no doubt it's happened somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Gideon Bible saved my life. Yeah, well, time for a fag.
I got mine when I was at school. I got given a Gideon Bible at school. Did you get yours at school?
No. I got mine about 12 years ago, maybe. But it did save my life. It literally saved my life. It put me on the right path, really. It was my first taking seriously of the Bible to a degree where I was curious enough to want to know more. And then the guy I did inquire with about certain things gave me that book, and it's just pretty much, they say that all the answers are in the Bible, and it's pretty much true in there. All the answers are in there. It's either knowing where to look or be directed to it by divine intervention, as in, well, that's coincidental. I was just thinking of that, and then somebody comes up with a scriptural reference. That happens so much that you've got to think, well, it's pretty much designed for me then, isn't it?
True,
The same as
the Bible has an answer for every problem. Whatever your problem, there is an answer in the Bible.
Yeah.
And there's encouragement. I'm not saying it will solve the problem for you, but it can certainly put you on the right path and guide you to help you work out the problem.
Oh, absolutely. It'll put you in a positive mind, for one thing. You can't put you in a positive mind, really, if it's taken as it's intended. And people have different interpretations, but if you want to have the most righteous interpretation, that's the way you interpret it, isn't it? With the pure righteous perspective of it, and just adopt that, right? Not to oversimplify it, but what would Jesus say, or what would Jesus do? Boom, there's your answer.
Yeah.
Go and have a look and see what he said about this and that. It's so simple. It's even a child could understand it. But a child understands it more than adults, really, because we do tend to use our imaginations combined with I wouldn't say like an arrogance or anything. I would just say with this sense of adventure and for making up stories, really.
Thing is, with the Bible, if you need help in understanding, if you pray beforehand, pray for discernment, and look at the scripture, and not just one verse, look at the surrounding verses around it. And this is the mistake a lot of people make. They'll pick out one verse from a Bible and say, well, that means that, but not necessarily. You know where I'm coming from?
This is why I said it's got to be in context. What was the context meaning of what was said in the bigger picture? So, and I've sort of gradually learned, I quickly learned actually, from a gradual introduction to it, how I've forgotten what I said now. Yeah, anyway.
Well,
what does it say
about the subject of the Bible? Go on, Rich, go on.
What does it say? That's like when I was with How do you do, my friend Michelle? Hello and welcome. I caught an hour and a half of your podcast the other night, Sunday. I didn't make the live, so I will apologise for that. But I did listen. I started listening to it once I woke up again. I caught Rob having troubles with the tech, but all seems well now, Rob.
Yeah, it's working fine. It must have been just a glitch. What I did reboot the router and reset my computer and everything, so maybe that was the problem. I don't know.
Yeah.
Talking about staying on before we go back to the banking system. Ron from Just a Voice 4 and Just a Voice 5, he's been putting up a lot of videos recently about how the Bible has changed, how words have been changed. What's your opinion on that, Rich?
What, you talking about Mandela?
Well, yeah.
It's a really long-winded explanation of what I think, Rob, because there are a lot of what ifs. What if it is not the result of a certain experiment? What if it is actually God that's making these changes to his book?
But why would God make changes to the book?
Now, this is a blessing, Rob. I see this as a blessing. This is the blessing, is that those people that recognise the changes, I recognise changes as well. However, there is a big however with mine, and that's a different story. But what if it's a message to those that literally are following the word of God, or the inspired word of God, and they know it inside out? What if it's a message to them from God as a warning, as a sign that, right, it's impossible for people to travel back in time, Rob, and alter everything that is written. What they can do is they can alter the perception of the now. So they could bomb the world with a false memory, okay? Through this frequency and vibration, they could bomb the world with a false memory.
Right, okay.
Very few people are far away from a mobile phone, and the mobile phone is the last outside body connection that the scum of the earth have between them and us, and total control. The phone, once that phone goes in the body, and that phone includes digital cash payments, etc., because people do pay with their phone. I haven't paid with it yet, and I pretty much won't, really. I'd rather go without than pay with my phone, because then that introduces British Telecom into the situation. Now, they might already know my phone doodlings, but when you get Google, Beat, British Telecom, Tesco's, Co-op, whoever, then ultimately government, it's another expansion of spying, isn't it? And that's what the digital money is all about. It's all about spying and control.
Yeah. Well, whenever I go on any sites, when I'm doing a bit of surfing, I always click on, when it comes up with the cookies, I reject all every time. And if it gives me the option to pay and reject cookies, I'll just go off the site, because they're starting to do that now as well. If you want to reject the cookies, you have to actually pay to join the, like the Daily Mirror, for example, that type of thing.
I wouldn't pay to read a newspaper, Rob.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying about pay to read the newspaper on one of the particular sites.
Am I a moderator, Rob, yet? Have you made me a mod? Make me a mod,
No.
Rob, because I want to share.
Make you a mod. How do I do that, Rich?
You got to go into the YouTube, but the YouTube chat, not the StreamYard comments. Go into YouTube comments.
Right. Yeah.
I'm going to make a comment now.
I'm doing that now. Just bear with me.
I just made a comment. Now, if you there's a three little dots by the side of my comment. If you click on that,
It's cool.
you see my comment. Hello.
Hang on, I've just gone onto YouTube here, and it's come up waiting. It says waiting for Robert Wilde. No, your comment isn't showing, mate. There's one from Surfex 2010. There's a comment.
I can't
from
see
him.
that one. See.
Maybe I should come out of this on YouTube and because you know, like when it messed up with the stream, because it's still saying one waiting for and it says waiting for Robert Wilde. So it's like as if I haven't started on here. Let me come out of this. Bear with me. Right, let's go onto YouTube now. You haven't lost me on StreamYard, have you?
I can hear you.
Oh, that's all right then. I didn't want to disappear from StreamYard, so I'm just going onto YouTube now. Click on live.
Yeah. Well, you do that. I watch UK Colin, Rob. Do you watch UK Colin? Eh?
No.
Don't you? You should do. They've been going for years. Yeah, they've been going for years. If you want a decent bit of news listening, well, go to UK Colin. Now I joined them Sunday, I think. It's £50 a year, and then they do like after hours talk as well for like an hour and I think. But it's better than anything else, Rob. Better than GB News. Their shit. They're pretty much like Good Morning Britain. Resistance GB. They're pretty at the pointed end as well of citizen journalism. You still there, Rob?
Yeah, I'm just add as a moderator.
Have you added me as a moderator, have you?
I'm just doing it now. Do I click on managing moderator or stand? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which one is it, managing or standard?
Say again? Say again, Rob?
Managing or standard?
Standard. Try that. I don't know what that is. Yeah, I think managing means I've got access to everything of yours. I don't want that. I don't want to see what you keep in your YouTube closets.
I was getting a lot of feedback there. We're having two open at the same time, but I've put you down as a moderator. I'm back on StreamYard now. So what were you saying about being a moderator? What was the reason for that then?
Well, I'm not a moderator yet. I am. It's just so I can share links in the chat, Rob.
Oh.
Only moderators can share links. So if there was things like the Light newspaper, I would still direct people to the Light newspaper. So I'll sling a link in for that. The stand in the park. Now we're coming up to winter. We're rolling down into winter now, and it's pointless getting to November the 5th and thinking, oh, let's start preparing for winter. Now's the time to prepare for winter. Because you've got to think, We didn't really have a deep, dark winter last year, which they promised, did we?
No, we didn't. We were quite lucky, really, with the weather.
And the economy crash really hasn't kicked in at all yet, has it?
No.
Because it will be a worldwide thing, I'm sure. And then they get the worldwide solution, which is digital currency.
Yeah. Do you know, talking about the cashless society, the people I feel sorry for more than anybody else is the older folk, because the older folk are not technologically minded. They're not used to the internet even. They're not used to digital formats, apps, and all that type of thing. They are going to be the ones who really suffer and have problems.
Well, I think it's that they're one of them. But you've got, if you look at like the homeless, they rely on cash handouts.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Look at you sending your best mate like me £20 in a birthday card. You won't be able to do it.
No.
Richard, buy yourself some sweets. Happy birthday. You won't be able to do it.
Yeah.
You know, giving a taxi cab driver a tip, you won't be able to do it.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of this. Is the say the cons. The only cons I see is that it's convenience, but it's
convenient. Yeah, absolutely.
lazy.
Yeah. I think it should be a mix of, but keep it as it is now.
Yeah. I think obviously that they're going to implement it. They're going to encourage, because that was the other thing I was going to mention about more and more banks now are closing.
Yeah.
Even now, you know, like the post office, I can go to the post office. I don't even need to go to my bank. I can go to the post office and pay money into the post office, and it will go straight into my bank account.
Yeah.
So it's an ongoing knock-on effect of everything. By me doing that, me not using the bank, they don't need the stuff in the bank, do they?
No.
The need for cash points, ATMs outside the banks, there won't be a need for those because people won't be using cash.
Absolutely.
It's a horrible bad situation. It's not the way forward at all. Like you say, the answer is keep both. The older folk, them that are not technologically or digitally minded, are still in a situation where, you know, they can go to the post office, draw their benefit in cash, and then go and spend it as they need to by paying in cash.
Yeah. Well, not even their benefits, mate. It might even be their savings. Not all old people rely on benefits. A lot of old people, even though like pensions have been diminished to below a decent quality living standard, without a doubt. I was down to retire at 55. Okay, I set this up when I was in my 20s. 55 came. And I said, right, I'm cashing pension in now. You can't do that. The rules have changed. You've got to wait until you're 57.
Yeah.
I said, what? No way. There's nothing I can do about it. 57 came and went. And nothing happened. And since I've had the policy, it's changed hands 3 times. If we just pass it along.
Mm.
Now, yeah, they got a control over me over something that really doesn't exist because they haven't put it by in a big lump of cash in the corner of in a safe in my little box, Richard. That's his investment money for his pension. And then when he wants it out, we give him it back plus a little thank you. But these days, no, it's not. There's nothing in the safe.
No.
There's no need for a safe for money.
Well, I personally like pensions and everything. I don't trust any of them. I mean, think back. When was it? Was it back in the 80s? Robert Maxwell. When all the pensions were lost. Was that in the 80s, Rich?
Say that again, Rob?
The pensions, like people in pension schemes. Back in the 80s, there was Maxwell. That was it. It was Maxwell, wasn't it? He fucked all the pensions up, and people lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
I don't have any faith in any government, any political organisation. No faith whatsoever. I've never voted in my life. I don't intend to vote because they're all full of false promises. And I always keep that scripture in mind. Do not put your trust in earthling man to whom no salvation belongs.
Amen. Hi, Stephen. Stephen Watson. Have you got the link, Rob, just in case anybody fancies?
The link should be right at the top of the page. Yeah, the link's still there. It's right at the top of the page. If anybody wants to come in, if you scroll right to the top, the link is there if you want to join us. I was hoping maybe just a voice was going to be coming in.
I can't. It's not out there, Rob. I can't see it.
You can't see the link?
No.
If you scroll right to the top.
I scroll right to the top, Rob. I can't see it.
Right.
Chat. Any chat that went on before seems to get deleted before you went live.
Well, I can scroll. Right. Okay. I'll put another link up. Let me just bear with me. So do I click on? I've come up. It says invite guests. I've clicked on copy. What do I do now?
Paste it in the comments.
Right. Hang on then. So yeah, I've highlighted it. Click on more actions. Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
I've got 2 studios up now. How's that happened? Into studio.
So I think we can say an all digital cashless society, Rob, ain't a good thing. Full stop, really. It's restrictive. It's not really sensible in an era full of cyber internet breakdowns. Rob's gone. You took yourself out, Rob. You disappeared.
Can you hear me?
I can now. You took yourself out.
How did I? Well, I don't know how I did that.
Yeah.
I didn't click on leave studio.
Right. Back to cash then, Rob.
Yeah.
Battery healing.
Like I say, I feel sorry. I feel sorry for the old folk. Oh, why is it doing it again? Oh.
Well, maybe the old folk might be taken out of it, Rob, because they don't contribute. Anything that doesn't contribute ultimately to worshipping the beast will be eradicated. So the homeless, jobless, old age pensioners, subordinates, do-gooders, they will be exterminated, mate. And then they just end up with a compliant.
Sorry, I've gone silent. I'm just trying to work out how I can get this link onto the page. Zoo said copy and paste. How do I do that? I can't work out how to do it.
Oh, let me see if I can do that. Right, I've done it.
I've clicked on copy, and then it says
Done it.
copied.
Yeah, I've done it, Rob.
Now, how did you do that? And I couldn't do it.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, right click it. I did right click it. Let me try again. I'll try to see if I didn't right click it. I need to get this right. Right. So highlight it, right click, and then copy. It's not. Send tab. Share. I'm not very computer orientated, to be honest. I mean, prior to using this, as you know, Rich, I was on a tablet, and it seemed a lot easier, as daft as that sounds. Sorry, Rich, bear with me, mate. I'm just
That's right.
something I need to. No, it keeps putting me into another StreamYard screen when I try and copy for some reason. Right, I'll leave it for now because I'm just wasting time. I'll leave it for now. The link's up there anyway. You've done it, haven't you? So
yeah.
Go to comments, click there, then paste. Right, well, let's try that then. Just before I bin this idea. Oh, it's disappeared from mine now. That first link I put up. So right. No, I can't. Sorry. Don't worry about it, Rich. We're on anyway. And right, how many have we got on? There's only two on. There's Zoo and somebody else, I think. Who else was it? Was it That's Life But Not As We Know It still with us?
I don't know, Rob.
Yeah. When was the last time you actually used a cash point, Rich?
Cash point? Yesterday.
Good on you.
Last night.
So my advice, if we want to keep,
I always drain my account up down to not totally down to zero, but enough for it's only my phone bill that I've got. It comes out as any sort of direct debit.
Yeah.
My phone and internet bill.
Yeah. That's the only thing I need to leave money in for is for a direct debit. Other than that, I try and always draw out cash.
Yeah.
If I can't pay in cash.
Yeah. The thing is, overnight that cash would be worth absolutely nothing.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
The trouble is, you see, if we did go cashless, totally cashless, and nobody can, what do they call it? When the what's it called? When the electricity grid gets wiped out, there's a term for it.
Blackout. Blackout.
Yeah, no, it's not blackout. There's it's gone off the top of my head. It'll come to me anyway. if everything went like the internet goes down and all the ATMs go down, all the card machines go down, unless you've actually got some cash at hand, how are you going to be able to buy things like food and things that you need? You know what I mean? So I always say, if you can, always try and keep a bit of cash spare. It's very difficult these days because I live from month to month. You know, but in the event that there was a, oh God, I can't think of that bloody word. Come on, Rob, what is it?
Not grid, Dan, is it? Grid.
Yeah, something like is it an EMP attack? Electromagnetic pulse. That's it. EMP attack. That's the word I was trying to think of. Where they detonate. When do you loot, Rob? Yep. Where they can knock out the whole electricity and everything goes down. Card machines, ATMs. You know, unless you've actually got some cash put aside, when it comes to buying things, you're not going to be able to do anything. You can't accept credit cards, debit cards. You can't go to ATMs to withdraw money. So, you know, this is one of the downfalls. If we went into a cashless society and the event of an EMP attack, everybody's fucked. Everybody is fucked totally. So my advice is for as many people and anybody watching this, I try and do it myself. Always use ATMs, draw out cash, use your bank if you can. That's something I don't really do because I tend to, if I need to get cash, I'll go to an ATM. Or if I need to pay some money in, I'll go to the post office just because it's closer, you know. But this is why half the banks are closing, because people aren't using the banks anymore. Sue Scott says, why would they do that? Does he mean why would they do an EMP attack? Well, to destroy the economy and put everybody in the shit, basically. I think that's what he meant by that question. I don't know. See, how can they think about it? What's one of the best ways that the government can control you to make you compliant? Take away the means of being able to get food and water. And an EMP attack is one of the best ways they could do it, because not everybody has cash at hand, you know, stuffed under the mattress or in a suitcase. I live from month to month. I don't have spare cash at hand. My cash is budgeted out over the month, and it all gets spent by the end of the month. So, you know, that's one way the government could actually mess everybody up and cause some mega problems and make people become compliant. Yeah, good point there, Steve. They want us cashless, total enslavement. That's the word, enslavement. Are you still there, Rich?
Yeah.
I'm just having a little step on the Hobgoblin.
Aye.
It was on offer in co-op. I think it's a discontinued line in co-op, so they've reduced them. So I thought, I'll treat myself to a 4-pack. I haven't had a drop of wine for ages, Rich. When are you going to send me down a bottle of your homemade wine?
I don't make wine, Rob.
Well, it's time you started.
No, I ain't got. Probably won't see it out. Takes about 12 months, doesn't it? I ain't got that long.
No, you can buy these kits now. You get them in a little box.
No, I ain't into paying money.
Rich, I'm only joking, mate. I don't expect you to send me any wine down.
No, I don't even drink myself up. Although I do fancy a drop of port every now and again.
All right. What's that link you just put up then, Rich? UK column. What's that?
Check it out. 1 o'clock every day they go live. They're just on the ball. They've been going for donkey's years now. I come across them many years ago on Facebook. I think they were aiming to be like a political force. So they're pretty much awake, but they're so professional in their reporting, and what they report on as well is really on the ball. So I would recommend anybody to subscribe to them. And like I said, I haven't joined anybody Patreon or PayPal or anything like that, but I did join their website just because they actually carry on for like another hour talking about things they can't do on here. And it's one of those things that I thought, oh, I quite like to hear what they got to say about that, just to see whether they are full-blown truthers, and they pretty much what they are, without a doubt. And they're so credible. You know, and I thought, right, I'm going to support them, actually, independent journalism, just because. Well, really, that Fabian Society video I put out, I think it was the last one I did, was theirs, UK columns. Brief in a nutshell explanation of the Fabian Society and how it aligns with the politics, Labour politics and the Labour of now. How crucial it is to understand that was well worth me paying for a cup of coffee for them, for that information, because that really, all this other stuff that's going on in the world, Rob, is a distraction from something. All the pantomime is a distraction from something.
Yeah.
Like the Trump thing. People got killed. Okay. And injured. But that makes it. Eh?
Are you on about Southport?
Southport? What's that?
Kids. Sorry, I'm
on about all the distractions. I'm on about the worldwide distractions, Rob, because we're in a worldwide community that is going to be attacked all at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, if they're going to, it might not be at the same hour on the same day, but it's going to be a force that's going to wipe us up across the world in the blink of an eye, because nobody's going to be prepared for it. You know, like the United Nations just marching around the world in collaboration with the Chinese government and the Russian government, military, and the Chinese military, and 5G and all these things. Can
you imagine how people are going to cope if the grid went down and nobody could use their mobile phones? Can you imagine the panic that alone would cause? The youngsters of today, my friend, they're reliant totally on their phone.
I wouldn't know, Rob. We haven't got a precedent for this, really. So we might be, hopefully, touch wood and stone, hopefully we'll be surprised by the non-reliance of mobile phones. And you know, what it would actually do is bring people closer to human contact. So it might be the start of a new learning curve for people. If
definitely be a new learning curve.
Well, it's all a distraction, Rob, isn't it? Away from focusing on your next footstep, your next word you're going to say, and focusing on God, really. Everything draws us away from being our naturally progressing, evolving, growing up, maturing selves. You know, there's so much against us as individuals in a physical world, and in the the ultra physical world, that being the frequency bands, like 5G. 5G is a killer, mate. You know that.
Oh, definitely.
Potential.
There's a massive got up probably about half a mile from where I live. You know, they're popping up everywhere, mate.
Yeah, got one up the road. That's my next video, actually. I'm been and on whether to work on it or just bin it, but it's back from 2020 when the world was locked down, or the country was locked down, but they still managed to put up a big mast up the road from me, a couple of hundred yards up the road. We documented that, and quite strangely, there has been an effect. We haven't had any sparrows about for 2 years.
Well, yeah, the wildlife definitely get affected by that type of thing.
Absolutely.
But going back to like the mobile phone thing, you know, back in the day, Rich, how things have changed. I can think back to the 70s and 80s, more so the 70s. Everything was family orientated. You know,
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
The wife or the woman would be there to cook the meal. The husband would be going out to work as the breadwinner.
Well, you're going to end up with
would be disciplined correctly.
You're going to end up with
everything's gone to pot. Everything's just gone to pot.
Yeah.
There's no respect anymore. The youth of today now blatantly walk into a supermarket, grab stuff, and just walk out, and they don't get stopped, or very rarely get stopped, because they know they can get away with it. You know, it's just take for yourself. Everything's just self these days. Nobody cares anymore.
Well, that's a bit of a broad statement, Rob.
When I say everybody, mate, I'm talking about the general public. Nobody cares. They've no scruples. They've no sense of godly ways. They're out for what they can get from people. It's just take. We're in a world where it's take. You know what I'm saying, don't you?
Well, it's always been like that, Rob. That is the nature of the world.
No, but it's always been like that. But the last 20, 30 years, my friend, it's gone off the scale.
The change happened in 1980s when Thatcher got in.
Yes. Yeah.
Now we've got a reign by the socialists. So the capitalist Tories, I might be wrong. Oh, yeah. The capitalist Tories encouraged capitalism, American style. Okay, which is like cutthroat, isn't it? That was what Thatcher did.
Zeus put up a comment.
Now, everybody's gone out and bought this and bought that, and people that couldn't really afford houses have bought houses, and now people have actually got ownership of things. The new government are going to be bringing in the socialist Labour government, are now going to be bringing in that agenda of Klaus Schwab, you will own nothing and you'll be happy. That's what the next phase is.
Yeah.
And to do that is a simple process of introducing the master control key, which is money. So as soon as
I remember the days, Rick, when I used to get that little brown envelope at the end of the week, and on the front would be written gross pay, how many hours you'd worked, and your net pay, and that was in a little brown envelope with money in and a few coins. Yeah, I remember those were the good old days. Now it's all digital. It's all paid into your bank online, you know, over the network. Zeus put up a question. Do you remember that old film, The Birds? Yeah, I do. That's off that Alfred Hitchcock movie What was the reason, Zoo, why you asked if do we remember the movie The Birds? Do you remember that film, Rich? Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Good film.
Just
Good
like,
film.
Just like carrying crows, weren't they?
I watched a YouTube video last night, actually, where it was one of these little shorts, and all these crows. It was like it was a huge flock of crows up in the sky, and they all just, dove down to the ground and crashed into the ground.
Yeah, I've got that.
Yeah, did you see it? That was weird,
got
wasn't
it,
it?
yeah. I'll take
Oh,
that.
put it up. Put it up. That was well strange. That was well strange. Now, what? I wonder if that's something to do with 5G. 5G.
Take me a while to find it, I think.
No worries, mate.
I got it.
He did some good movies, did Alfred Hitchcock. See how the film industry has changed now as well. Everything's, well, I mean, yeah, you did get the violence in the old movies, but not like what you see today. Not the supernatural element of movies today. They're all focused on demonic. The horror films, most of them, 90% of horror films these days are demonic.
Sorry, Rob.
It's all right.
Yeah. We're not ready yet.
You're never ready, Richard. Only kidding. God bless you, man. God bless you. Sue Scott says they're going mental now also. Who's going mental? There's only the Transformers now on BBC. Transformers, yeah. Transform the UK and the world into their way of thinking. Television programming. Yes, the birds, Zoo. The birds. They're going mental now also. Yeah. Well, Richard apparently is trying to get this clip up of these crows that just came out of the sky and dived into the ground. Very strange. That's the one. That is weird.
There's no sound with it. I think it's a CCTV.
Well, yeah, it's not a problem. I mean, it's just weird how that happened. How they all just fell out of the sky.
Yeah. They'll play again in a minute. Look at that one on the roof. Don't know whether they got broken necks or sizzled pineal glands.
I'm not sure where it was. There was quite a few that actually flew off after hitting the ground, but there was quite a lot of dead ones as well, wasn't there?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think one of the guys said, the reporter on it said something like it could have been there was a predator attacking them or something, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
They don't fly into the ground because of a predator. I think it's 5G related personally.
They fell down in a lump, isn't it?
Yeah.
There they come. It's like if somebody just emptied a bag of them. Not that they were spread out.
Yeah. Actually, quite lucky nobody was walking by at that time, because imagine that lot falling on your head. You know, it could have actually caused some damage.
Could have.
But yeah. But yeah, wildlife, everything. You know what they're doing now with these with this 5G. I'm using the G because if you use the actual correct pronunciation, they could pick that up as a, you know, right.
It's a
Delete
real
the
thing.
video.
No, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to talk about the real thing. Fuck them.
Yeah, but if you mention 5G and say the actual, yeah.
Well, we're just.
You're right, Rich. You are right.
Again. I am right. 100% Rob. You know, we use precautions. But wear a hard hat when you're saying these words. Yeah. Anyway, getting back to cash.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
my advice for anybody.
I'd say spend it while you got it. Spend it while you got it on things that you're going to be buying. When there's a rush, panic, when you cannot buy or sell again. So your food, water, your basics really, and live like a caveman. Have an adventure.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Just be prepared for it, because if it does happen, we're not going to be shocked that it's happening. You know? And
yeah,
it's as simple as that, because money is going to be of absolutely no value whatsoever. It's difficult. It's difficult for people that actually own their own homes, etc. How they're going to get them out, or onto a system where they rent off of a central hub. They've got to do that yet. That's going to take some doing.
Well, like I was saying earlier about this EMP attack, and everybody gets affected, and then the governments take total control. And whether you own your house or not, they're going to say, right, well, if you need it, if you want help from us, you are going to have to give up your house, or, you know, that type of thing, to be able to pay for these services.
That's, to think of it on a simpler mindset, because an EMP attack is war, and full stop. It's the end of us. A big EMP attack, I'm quite sure, will instigate a massive war. And that we won't have nothing to worry about anyway, because we won't be here.
Yeah.
But it won't take anything massive like an EMP attack to cause what they need, which is to get people to comply.
Yeah.
And
well, you see, they'll blame it on another. They'll blame that on another country, saying it's come from another country, but it could be from our own sources, our own government. You know what I mean?
But it probably will be from our own sources, Rob. Almost every government is under the control of the World Economic Forum, United Nations, NATO. They've got a stranglehold on even these Far East nations. Are all in on it, Rob. It's just one of these other manufactured divides, isn't it? You know, all this Russia, China bollocks is going on. Yeah. It's another distraction. It gives another excuse to move a lot of money around and a lot of weaponry, and to construct the infrastructure for a prison in a country that probably isn't ready to be a prison. So they've got to upgrade the whole infrastructure of the world. Yeah, and that takes a lot of money, that. They've got to move money around somehow. Eh?
It's not. Money's not an issue for the men at the top. You know, the top of the pyramid. They're not an issue.
Well, it is because they want it all, Rob. Until they got it all, it is an issue. They want it all. They're not just happy with half of it.
No, what I'm saying is, whatever they want to do, they will do. There's no stopping them.
Such as what? Bringing in a digital currency?
Everything. They've had a plan. They've had a plan in place probably for God knows how many years going back. Like 911 in September. That was probably planned maybe 20, 30 years in advance. You know? So they have all these plans in place. They have timescales when they need to do things by, and that's how they work.
I know all this, Rob.
Pardon?
I said I know all this.
Yeah. So you agree with me then?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's not writing a script this week and playing it next week. We're in Agenda 24. They've got to achieve things by the end of this year, so they're not behind with what they're hoping to achieve by the end of next year, 2025.
Yeah.
Up to a point when there's no turning back for us. So it'll either be at the end of this year. We've got the false promise, possibly, of normality to a degree till 2030. So there's no panic in the minds of many, or most really. Now we've introduced 2025 as something big, a big year, but every year it's a cunning plan that needs to come together with various other cunning plans that is tailor-made to each individual country and culture, etc. So it's not difficult for them to just say, right, that's the end of cash. Boom. Nobody can do anything about it.
Exactly.
However, if you've got cash, is it still a commodity in the public? If you're dealing with other people that still got cash, they say, well, what we got to lose? We'll just continue using this cash. We just won't bank it. That's the sort of system that's required, is an independent system using the same money that has been printed. So we say, well, right, so you got 1,000 quid, you got 1,000 quid, brilliant. You got 100 quid, brilliant. But you keep that within a community, like a town, for example.
Yeah.
And a town should be self-sufficient, totally.
I think we're going to go back to a time, and it will happen, where you won't be able to buy things, but you'll be able to maybe, work with your neighbors and trade things together. Like, for example, I might have a bag of sugar in the cupboard. Now, I don't need sugar for anything. I don't have sugar in my drinks. But the neighbor next door might like to have a cup of tea with a spoon of sugar in, or on their cereal. So I could trade my bag of sugar for some potatoes, maybe, things like that. This is what I think is going to happen.
Bartering, yeah, it's natural, Rob. It happens now. It's happening today.
But I mean, on a bigger scale. I mean, on a much bigger scale, when the shit really does hit the fan.
Yeah, but it's happening. It happens today. There is a culture of bartering, Rob. I'm part of a culture of bartering. Yeah, it's as simple as that, really. But if you're bartering with the option of people that haven't really got anything that is barterable, like you can say to somebody that, they might be fantastic at being a person, okay? Being a loving, caring person. But what can they offer in exchange for a meal? Because ultimately that's what it's about, isn't it? It's about exchanging something for something to eat and drink.
Yeah. I'm just going to put you onto full screen because I need to go for a quick Jimmy Riddle.
You don't have to do that.
So right. I'll be back in about 45 seconds. All right.
All right, don't touch
The
anything.
screen is all yours.
Thank
Pardon?
you. Don't touch anything
I won't.
without rubber gloves on. Right. This is what I'm going to do. This is the light issue 47. I'm just going to go through this a bit. I've got that one here. Is your money safe? All these newspapers are downloadable. And you've got a backlog going, they've got back issues going right to the first one here. Do what you want, Rob.
Yeah, I've siphoned the python, and my bladder has gone from a medicine ball back to a tennis ball. When you gotta go, you gotta go.
I'm trying to find
What are you looking for, Rich?
I'm looking for a copy of the light when they're on about a digital currency. And I've got so much. There it is.
Oh, I just got a text from Dave and Debbie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because I sent them a text to say me and you were going live tonight, and it's come back. Hi, Rob. We're driving home around 5:30 and won't be home till 7, so not a problem. But they're obviously okay anyway. That's the good thing. David Yates' last text to me was the Phoenix will soon rise. What do you say? How long have I got left? I've got about 15 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, UK column. Look them up. They're pretty much on the ball. They do really good reporting.
That light, that's the free paper that they used to give out at Sainsbury's, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good paper, that.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. I'm waiting for it to load, actually, so I can share it. But in the meantime, we'll go back to that. Yeah. So there's nothing we can do to stop it, really, apart from carry on doing what we're doing and keeping cash alive. And getting people to understand the importance of cash, really, by using scared fear porn, really. We can use our own fear porn by saying things like, well, if you want to send your little granddaughter a tenner in a card, you can't do it. She'll end up having to pay tax on it because it's a digital transaction.
Yeah. Like you say, there's so many things that would be affected by it if they did away with cash. The only advice I can offer everybody is do what I do, and whenever you can, rather than use a debit card, go to an ATM or go to your bank or the post office and draw out the cash, and then go to whatever you need to buy and use the cash to buy the product. If enough people do that, they will know that, well, it ultimately probably won't stop them anyway, but at least it will delay things. And you know what I'm saying? If everybody takes the lazy path and just says, oh no, it's more convenient for me, I can go into a shop, take out my phone and pay with Apple Pay or pay with my card, I don't have to carry cash around. You know, unfortunately, that's the way the majority of people are thinking, because it's easy for them, you know, but it's the lazy way. And to keep cash alive, we have to keep moving money around.
Indeed, Rob. Right, I got this article up by the light. I'm just trying to see if I can present it a bit.
Yeah, no worries, Rich.
Better.
So I'm just messing about with this cigarette I've just rolled here. The actual paper has got a split in it, and it's not working properly. Your money controlled for.
Let me share this now, Rob.
Yeah, you put it up, my friend.
Whole screen. Now this is the best I can actually do. Okay, the light, issue 30. Now I think they're on about 48, something like that now. So however many months ago that was. Oh, bollock.
Was it normally one a month? Was it? I think they did it once a month. Or was it
yeah, monthly.
Yeah, I thought it was. You trying to light your cig, Rich?
Mm-hmm.
I can hear you going click, 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 click.
Right. Right, this is the light, issue 30. All your money controlled forever.
Yeah, there's the demonic eyes.
There's another. Digital pound spells end of freedom.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can make this bigger a minute. Alright, does that do it? Oh, only one eye. No, it doesn't work. Oh, come on.
Well, if you can see the writing there, Rich, just read it out to us, what it says.
Right, the banks will sell it as safe, convenient, and a logical next step. But central bank digital currency is about completely controlling your finances, therefore controlling your life and everyone else's. The digital pound will be very different from the cards and payment apps you use today. This smart money will be programmable, so they will be able to restrict how you use it, even switch it off altogether. It is the tyrant's ultimate dream. Once they control everyone's money, they can they can make you do what they want, or restrict you from anything or anywhere at the stroke of a key. No one will be able to save or plan for the future, and we will, in effect, be slaves. However, there is a simple way to counter it and stop it being implemented, because they can never overtly state what CBDC is really for. They have actually, haven't they? If you watch the right like world leader get-togethers, they're very open about it in these non-mainstream sort of settings, really, because the BBC don't report on the nitty-gritty of what goes on at Davos, etc. Anyway, they will say most people are paying electronically now anyway, and digital currency will make things safer, easier, and more convenient. So to prevent it, use cash everywhere, all the time. Use ATMs, and if you still have one, bank branches to withdraw cash, and don't use pay apps or cards if possible. Refuse to go into businesses that don't accept cash, and support the ones that do. Cash is freedom. See centre pages. No, that's not a link. Right? So,
well, that's in line with what I said earlier. If I walked into a shop, Richard, and it said there was a sign on the door that said we only accept cards, I wouldn't go in there. But see, the other thing to bear in mind as well, like a lot of these supermarkets now, are bringing out these apps where you can do what's called smart shops. And if you go and use those, they can monitor everything you buy. They can see what you're spending your money on. It's giving information to them that they shouldn't really have.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So cash is king. Cash is king. There's no doubt about it.
Well, I think a combination of both is king. Honestly.
Yeah, there are times, like you said earlier, Rich, there's times when you do have to use a debit card, if you're ordering online. But for your main purchases, like I go to the co-op, my local co-op, probably 3 times a week. I'll probably go have a walk up to Sainsbury's once a week. And I always try and pay with cash.
Yeah.
If everybody does that, we can keep cash alive. There is one other thing to consider, which I actually just is popped into my head now. Like all these, how would they get around the problem of, like you get these arcades where they've got all these fruit machines where you have to put pound coins in. How would they get around that if they did away with cash? Wow. Would you have to put your debit card in?
Yeah, that's a good point.
They probably created a machine where you put a debit card in and I just thought about that. Because the industry is based on coinage, isn't it? You go into a pub, there's probably maybe 2, maybe 3 fruit machines in that pub, and they rely on people putting coins in.
Yeah.
Or banknotes. They take notes now, don't they? Some of them. But if we became cashless, how would they get around that? Would you have to put a debit card in to get some credits on the gaming? I don't know.
No, they're outlaw gambling, Rob. And having fun. That's part of having fun, isn't it? They like all that. Tokens.
Well, I can't see them outlawing gambling because for them it's a big revenue. It's a lot of money coming their way. If they outlawed gambling, they're going to lose a lot.
You're talking about money. Rob, you're either talking about money, or if money doesn't exist, you're talking about something that doesn't exist. You can't use the word money when you're talking about digital currency.
Well, I think personally how they get around it is they'd introduce machines where you can't put coins in, but you can insert your debit cards, like as if you would at an ATM, and then type in how much you want to play, and then if you win, you have to put your card back in, and they credit the money to your card. That's the only way I think they could do it. I can't see them shutting down gambling operations because it's too much money coming their way.
Yeah, but money won't exist, Rob, as a thing.
No, digital money, not literal money. Digital. Everything's going to be
in that realm, Rob. If you've got all the digital money in the world, you can't call digital money, Rob. Otherwise, we've got a problem with communication. It's a currency, like the pound isn't money. The pound is a currency.
Well, yeah, currency. Call it currency. Yeah.
Really, but
call it debit currency then. Debit card currency.
Well, debit card currency is digital currency. It doesn't exist, Rob.
Yeah.
Even wherever you're
because when you go to a shop and pay with a debit card,
they take numbers off a screen, Rob.
It obviously exists because you can pay with a debit card.
But yeah, just money is money. Money is cash. Central bank digital currency isn't money. That's one thing. I
can't see them. Yeah.
Is that curry sauce?
Chips and sauce. Yeah.
That curry sauce, got to be curry sauce. They do a nice curry sauce down by me. Irish curry sauce.
Oh, casino chips then.
Yeah. Yeah.
On that note, Rich, I'm sorry, but I'm just looking at the car. I'm going to have to get off.
All right, bro.
It's been a great pleasure. It's been a great pleasure talking with you again live.
Yeah.
On there.
It's glad
and I'd like to everybody who's joined us. And we'll have to do it again soon.
Yeah. But as far as cash goes, we just got to keep doing what we're doing, Rob, really, and sticking to those principles and not trusting banks, building societies, anything like that. It's difficult to know what to do. But if you've got a fistful of dollars or a computer screen full of numbers, you know, I'd rather swap my day's toil for something I can hold in my hand. And when I go home to the wife, and she'll say, "Oh, what have you been doing all day?" I say, "Listen, my darling, I exchange my time for this. Gold ring for you, my love, my sweet. Something of value and a token of my true love, my dear darling. Now, what's for tea?" You want something that has a value.
You big romantic.
I know.
You big romantic.
I know. You know. But actually, I've got a friend. He deals in self-medication. Okay. Now, I said to him, "Listen, how are you going to survive if everything goes digital?" He said, "Oh no," he said, "that won't happen." He's in his 30s, right? He's loving it. And he said, "Oh no, that won't happen." He said, "Cash will always be around." And I said, "This has been on a plan probably about 2 years ago." And I've been badgering him on all non-stop, but in subtle ways. And I thought about it one day. Cash will always be around as long as it's kept alive, even for black market trade, or even if, you know, as a little tip for a taxi driver, or, you know, a fix for a homeless guy, whatever it may be, within reason, of course. Maybe like a hot pie. Not from
I love
Tesco's.
it. I'm a Ginster's pasty fan.
Yeah.
I love a Ginster's pasty. No.
Yeah, but Henry Clark, nice to see you both back. Henry Clark, nice to be back. Yeah, so
Hi, Henry.
it's not a good thing. There are pros and cons, Rob. No, actually, I would go so far as to say there are no pros to go all digital, full stop.
Yeah. Totally agree there. 100% agree with you, Rich.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like apartheid. It's like a sort of an apartheid, isn't it?
So we'll call it there. Thanks again, Richard.
All right, my friend.
I'm going to end the stream now. We've been
All right,
we've been on an hour and a half.
Yeah. Yeah.
And thank you everybody for joining us, and love your comments as always, and look forward to seeing you in the very near future. Won't we, Rich?
All right.
Okay. Bye for now, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Don't get sucked in by all the drama as well. It's just look at it as being funny, really.